11 local athletes are pursuing a dream. It will take them on a voyage from the bottom of the ocean to the high point of their lives. They came from China, Persia, and Arabia, explorers, adventurers, and merchants. For more than 2,000 years, monsoon winds carried their sailing ships across the Indian Ocean to Africa. Voyagers were lured by tales of riches, fortunes made from spices, ivory, and slaves. Coastal towns grew and prospered. Centuries of foreign influence created a vibrant and exotic society. Gradually, out of these narrow streets, a new culture emerged, Swahili. Taken from the Arabic word for coast, Swahili became the name of this shoreline, its people, and their language. The Swahili coast stretches for almost 1,000 miles from Somalia in the north to Mozambique in the south. Ancient ports dotted this entire coastline, but none were more famous than the island of Zanzibar. A third of the way up Zanzibar's eastern coast lies the village of Bweju. This whole island is made of coral, even the small white houses that line the beach. Isa Simai Isa was born in Bweju and is building his own coral house here.
Katika familia yangu kuna watu kama watu 6 ambao ni wa mwanzo mimi katika familia hiyo. 5 kati yao hawapo, wapili wawili wako mjini, wawili mmoja yuko kazini. Mimi mwenyewe nafsi yangu nimeamua kukaa kijijini pangu kuendeleza shughuli zangu za uvuvi. Na naendeleza habari zangu za ujenzi pamoja na kidogo matumizi ya pwani baharini. Kikipatikana leo kidogo naweka mwenyewe na jenga kidogo. Kwa maana hiyo nategemea kuishi nao kunako jumba hili ambalo Mungu akipenda nikimaliza mimi mwenyewe binafsi yangu malengo yangu ya pili nitaoa.
Isa's passion is soccer. Introduced by the English in the 1870s, soccer is just one of the many foreign imports to find their way to this island. But it's the one Isa loves most. Like Isa, most of the men in the village are fishermen, just as they were when Arab traders discovered a flourishing African culture here more than 1,200 years ago. Long stretches of coral reef create sheltered lagoons and safe harbors, the perfect environment for hundreds of varieties of marine life. Flourishing in warm, shallow waters, fabulous coral gardens fringe the Swahili shoreline. Coral reefs are made of polyps, tiny animals living in protective chambers. Living corals build up layer by layer on the remains of previous generations. Bathed in sunlight and given extra oxygen by the breaking waves, the reef explodes with life. A colony of coral the size of a soccer ball can take 50 years or more to develop, and reefs can be hundreds of feet thick. This is where Isa goes to work. He's a specialist, a free diver. Though the ocean looks idyllic, it can be unforgiving.
Mwanzoni kwa kweli inaogopesha sana kwa sababu bahari mwanzo inaogopesha sana. Kuna wanyama kama vile mizia ambao unaweza ukawaona wanakufuata hivi, wanakujia kwa haraka sana, wanataka kuchukua wale pweza ulionao mle. Sasa unaweza ukaogopa. Huwezi kufanya kazi vizuri. Inahitaji uzoefu kwa muda kidogo ambao unachukua kiasi ya miezi 4, 5 mpaka miezi 6. Hii masikio ukienda chini ili asiume.
Every day, Isa swims the reef for up to 7 hours. Since he doesn't use a boat, he spends much of his time treading water at the surface, preparing himself for the next dive. Isa is able to reach depths of 50 to 60 feet, staying underwater for up to 3 minutes at a time.
Kama pale inabidi pale ndio mwisho wako pale. Damu inatoka humu puani humu. Damu pia inatoka. Kwa hiyo pale usizidi tena chini, inabidi uje juu. Kwa kiasi fulani naweza kusema walikuwa wananifunza kufanya hii kazi. Kidogo kidogo wananichukua kwenda baharini. Kilomita 2, kesho 3, 4, 5 mpaka nikafikia kiwango ambacho kiko kinakubalika na jamii.
Catching octopus is an exhausting and time-consuming business. On a good day, Isa will be lucky if he comes ashore with 6 of them. Things are changing for Isa and the other fishermen. Though fish on the reef seem plentiful as ever, catching them is growing more and more difficult.
Wakati wetu bwana, samaki walikuweko na kamba bwana, kwa sababu wakati huo sisi tulikuwa tunakwenda baharini, mtu anakwenda anapiga kamba 50, jiwe moja kamba 50 peke yake, hawamalizi na kesho anakwenda tena kupiga
50.
Sio wakati wetu, wakati wangu mimi, wakati wanavua, wakati wangu wa ujana, wakati huo samaki walikuweko sana.
Sasa umeenda tukapata samaki taabani, kuchoko pole pole.
Kila kitu kimekuwa adimu. Samaki adimu, kamba adimu, kila kitu adimu.
Zanzibar has never been slow to adapt to change. On the East Coast, it is the women who have taken the initiative. More than 10,000 of them have turned from fishing the sea to farming it. Small bunches of seaweed are strung along handmade ropes. In the warm, shallow waters, the seaweed grows. In just a few weeks, the cuttings will increase tenfold in weight, and they'll be ready to harvest. Farmers like Bibi Sahibi diligently tend their plots, ensuring algae doesn't build up and break the strings. Bibi's seaweed crops will be sent all over the world. Nearly 4,000 tons are exported each year to be used as a thickener in things like ice cream, cosmetics, toothpaste, and beer. Life here revolves around the times of the tide. School and work hours are adjusted so everyone can help unload the fishing boats and bring in the catch. Isa's friend Amour used to do the same when he was a child.
Hichi kijiji cha Boju kina watu takriban watu wote ni wavuvi. Kazi yao ni kwenda pwani kutafuta samaki, pweza, kitu kama hicho. Mfanyakazi wa Jamal Restaurant. Mkahawa huu tunakuwa tunatoa huduma kutokana na bidhaa tunazozipata kwa wanakijiji wanakwenda pwani kuvua.
Mapweza babu yangu, ndio mapweza haya. Leo mazuri? Leo mapweza mazuri.
Lakini bei zako hizo zinakuwa zinantisha. Kiasi gani?
Aka shilingi 5,000.
Unakaribia picha yetu wewe. Zali pweza hii sasa ni shilingi 5,000.
Hizo pesa kunaweza ipouzia vipi vile?
Pesa ninazo.
Hata.
Pesa 3 kidogo lakini shilingi.
Ndio hicho nazo hamna kitu. Pesa
2,000 bwana.
Haya.
Bei zako zinakuwa mbovu. Mimi pweza wako si wazuri. Na kwenda pwani au wengine wanakuja hapa na nunua pweza, samaki, ngisi. Bei zao nzuri kutokana na kuwa wavuvi wengi ni rafiki zangu. Tunakuwa tunacheza na mpira pamoja, timu moja. Kwa hiyo ninapokwenda pwani bei anonipa inakuwa bei nzuri, good price.
Isa and Amour play for the Zanzibari Leopards, one of the island's best amateur soccer teams. Each afternoon at 4 o'clock, as the equatorial temperatures begin to ebb, the men gather at one of Weju's 6 soccer fields to play the game they love. Issa is the team captain. His dive buddy, Fwai, is the Leopards' leading goal scorer. And Amor, the restaurant manager, is probably the best player. There may only be a handful of spectators now, but in 2 days' time, the Leopards will play their most important match so far, a match that could win them Zanzibar's Southern League. The day of the match. A hushed expectancy has descended on the village. The Leopards are having their best season ever. One more victory, and the Southern Cup is theirs. But they're up against East Coast, their nearest neighbors and greatest rivals. A big crowd, almost 100 strong, has gathered to cheer on Issa and his teammates.
Nashukuru sana kwa kushinda timu East Coast ambao tumecheza ligi daraja la pili Ulaya ya Kusini Unguja, na tumechukua kikombe hichi.
The trophy means far more to Issa than just winning the local amateur league. The cup qualifies them for a far grander competition against more professional teams in Tanzania's capital city,
ambayo inahitajika kwenda kucheza Dar es Salaam na timu moja naisikia tu kwa jina inaitwa Cosmo. Kwa maana hiyo naitazama katika mtazamo wa kuwa timu yangu bado ni changa na inapambana na timu nzito. Kwa hiyo ninahakikisha kwa wachezaji wangu watakuwa wana hofu. Kwa maana hiyo hata na mimi binafsi yake na hofu. Na vile vile na wasiwasi kidogo kutokana na hali ya uchumi. Sijui vipi timu yangu inaweza kufika Dar es Salaam kucheza na Cosmo.
The Leopards may have triumphed, but the divide between the island and mainland Tanzania has never seemed bigger. Although it's only 40 miles away, finding a way to get there won't be easy. The seas between Zanzibar and the Tanzanian capital Dar es Salaam can be rough. The local fishing boats are too small to make the journey safely. And the mainland ferry costs $20, almost 4 times the average weekly wage. Their only option is the one that has sustained Zanzibar for centuries, an ocean-going ship called a dhow. At 150 feet, this is the biggest dhow constructed on Zanzibar for some time. The Somalian merchant who commissioned it has waited 4 years to see it finished. Built without plans or power tools, even the wooden hull is fastened together using the hard air roots of mangrove trees instead of nails. But the final product is a sailing ship tough enough to withstand the power of the Indian Ocean and the force of the monsoon winds. If the Leopards could come up with the money to hire one, a dhow would be their passage to the mainland. There are dozens of different kinds of dhow from every country bordering the Indian Ocean. But they all share one common feature, their sail. Traditional European ships depended on having the wind behind them, but the dhow's adjustable sail could be turned to catch the wind in any direction. Swahili sailors love the chance to display their skills. Dhow races are the perfect opportunity. The winds and the sea brought foreign influence to East African shores. Shards of early Chinese ceramics and Roman coins minted more than 1,500 years ago have been found here. Yet the most enduring foreign influence was that of Islam. From across the water came the call to prayer. And though Kenya and Tanzania are predominantly Christian, Swahili culture became a Muslim one.
Kwa hiyo sasa cha msingi ni kujadili wapi tunaweza tukenda na vipi tutapata usafiri wa kuendea na kila kitu.
Unajua unapoenda kwa mhisani kwanza wewe unajui una nini mfuko. Sio unaenda kwa mhisani una kitu eti. Unaona? Usaidiwe maana kusaidia wewe kitu tayari una kidogo upate kuongezea. Sio unaenda kwa mhisani anakuambia wewe unataka kiasi gani? Ah, mimi nataka 300,000.
Si tukavueni madam senye wavuvi.
Sawa, of course ni sisi tukavua. Lakini sasa tumuulize bwana mkubwa ana kiasi gani?
Sasa kama michezo.
Okay. Kama ni hoteli nafikiri labda gharama ya hoteli kwa siku watu kwa mtu shilingi ngapi?
Tegemea standard sio ya hoteli unaendaka.
Kwa vile hatuna kitu, tutafuta hoteli ya uwezo wetu. Sasa kwenda kukaa Starlight uwezo wetu hatuna uwezo wa kukaa Starlight.
Kwa hiyo hebu sasa leteni mipangilio, tupangeni tukatembee pahali pengine. Wapi? Tujadili.
Isa has a plan, which just may bring in the money they need. It hinges on a method of fishing he's heard about, but never tried. But conditions at sea aren't good. The tides are stronger than usual, and powerful currents threaten to sweep the fishermen away. This time, the octopus isn't coming without a fight. It squirts a cloud of ink, a smoke screen, designed to aid its escape. Unable to see, Isa struggles to keep hold. Still trapped, the octopus clamps its sharp beak onto Isa's arm. Isa turns the octopus inside out to quickly kill it. Then he attaches the body to a metal rod. Using this bizarre puppet, he's ready to hunt his real quarry, a catch worth 40 times the price of an octopus. But it's not going to be easy. As Y looks on, Isa tries to shake off the moray eel. Finally, Isa finds what he's looking for, a lobster. The locals don't usually eat them, but the tourists do. If it sees Isa, it will back into its hole. But with Isa hidden behind a rock, its instinct is to run away from the octopus. With the lobster in the open, Y can snatch it from the ocean floor. The catch is alive and unmarked, which is just what the tourist hotels want. Together with substitutes, coach, and team doctor, the 18-strong Leopards team meet on the beach to be ferried to the dhow. Hiring a trading dhow has cost the leopards $200, the equivalent of 8 months' wages, but it's going to be worth it. For centuries, the riches of mainland Africa were ferried across these waters to Zanzibar. Now the leopards are sailing the Indian Ocean in search of their own prize. With favorable winds, a large ocean-going dhow can sail the 2,500 miles between East Africa and the Persian Gulf in less than 30 days. Luckily, the leopards don't have to go that far. The next morning, the leopards enter Dar. Dar es Salaam, capital of Tanzania. As Zanzibar fell into decline during the 19th century, Dar es Salaam boomed. The German East Africa Company established a station here in 1887 and turned Dar into the biggest city on the Swahili coast. A century later, it was handling a significant amount of Africa's overseas trade. Traditional dhows sail to Asia between April and October loaded with grain, fish, and spices. Between October and March, as the monsoon winds turn about, they return with timber, fabrics, and electronics. Despite the Swahilis' reputation as traders and seafarers, this is the first time many of the leopards have traveled to the mainland. When the Sultan of Zanzibar founded Dar es Salaam in 1862, it wasn't much bigger than Bweju. Now, with its tall buildings and 3 million residents, it's as different from home as Isa could possibly have imagined. It's only as they enter the gates of the huge national stadium that the leopards realize the enormity of the task in front of them. For a start, they'll be playing on grass for the first time in their lives. by this afternoon, this 20,000-seat stadium will ring with cheers for Cosmopolitan, the local team. The crowd will have little sympathy for a team of fishermen from across the water. An hour before kickoff, and the stadium is starting to fill.
Number one, ni kwamba tunapopata mpira tusiupoteze. This is number one. Ni kwamba ikiwa mpira tunao sisi wenyewe, bila shaka ni muda mdogo sana, inakuwa hatutumii nguvu sana. Okay. Kwa hiyo nini cha kufanya? Ni kwamba tunao fullback wetu wawili, sehemu ya defensive zone. Kwanza sehemu ya nyuma, tufanye vya kufanya, ni lazima itabidi libero wetu asiguswe. Hiyo ni advantage. Libero wetu asiguswe. Kwa nini? Yeye anachukua ile mipira loose balls wanaita. Ni lazima naye atafute nafasi nyingine tena iweze kupokea. Sasa tumefahamiana. Kwa hiyo hizo ndo kwa kifupi ndo vitu ambavyo tunavihitaji.
The Leopards are pitted against Cosmopolitan FC, a famous team based right in the heart of Dar es Salaam. Cosmo are on home ground, and the crowd loves them. This is more than the Leopards could ever have dreamed of. A match of huge importance played at the home of Tanzanian soccer. But the Tanzanian Cup is a sudden death tournament. If the Leopards lose this game, they're out and on their way back home.
Unajua timu zetu za Kizanzibari kucheza Dar es Salaam kidogo, wachezaji kidogo wanajisikia wana wasiwasi. Kwa hiyo timu yangu imejiandaa vizuri, lakini nina hofu. Hiyo ni bila shaka kuwa nina hofu na timu nayokwenda cheza nayo, kwa sababu ni timu moja maridadi, kali sana.
Usipeleke kulunga, nani? Anza, side going for push was too early. Well done, Nagu.
At first, Issa and the Leopards hold their own. But midway through the first half, the Cosmopolitan attack intensifies. A foul and a Cosmo penalty kick. One nothing, Cosmo. Not used to the way the ball skids off the grass, the goalkeeper misjudges the bounce, and it's 2-0. As the first half comes to a close, the Leopards know they face an uphill battle, but they've come too far to give up now. The crowd enjoy halftime oranges as they wait for the teams to return. It's the second half. The Leopards, down 2-0, are more determined than ever. Then, disaster strikes. The talented midfielder Jamal has his legs taken out from under him. He's carried off the field to receive treatment from the team doctor. While they wait to find out if Jamal will be able to return, the Leopards plow on with only 10 men. Which is when the unbelievable happens. The crowd can't help but cheer the underdogs. They did it. A goal in the National Stadium, in front of the biggest crowd in the team's history. For the Leopards, it's an all-time high. Back on Zanzibar, the Leopards hitch a lift to Bueju. The whole village is there to greet the heroes. Nobody seems bothered that the Leopards lost. They're treated as champions. And no one is prouder than Issa's father.
Nashukuru tumerudi salama kutoka Dar es Salaam ambayo safari tulifunga kwenda kucheza na Cosmo. Kwa kweli Cosmo ni timu moja nzuri sana. Imetufunga magoli 4 ambao sisi tumepata goli 1. Kwa hiyo kwa mimi sio mbaya kwa kweli kwa mimi kufungwa na Cosmo. Na pia mimi mwenyewe binafsi badala ya hapo timu yangu nitawaruhusu wachezaji wangu kila mmoja kuendelea na shughuli zake, ambao na mimi mwenyewe nitaendelea na shughuli zangu za uvuvi. Baadaye kidogo kuendelea na shughuli zangu za ujenzi. Halafu isitoshe vile vile nategemea baada ya muda kidogo kupata.
Along this coast, Swahili civilization took on the world and grew stronger. In their own small way, the Leopards did the same. And though their lives appear to be back to normal, maybe, just maybe, their trip across the ocean has changed the village of Bueju forever.
More from Africa.